Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So this is another one of the videos that I told you I was gonna do, and I'm gonna jump right in. My kitchen is a little bit of a wreck, but I'll explain that in just a second. So in case you didn't catch my video like 2 videos ago or something like that, my local discount, like Mennonite discount grocer, whatever, was having a really big sale on produce. So I decided to stock up on some things and do some like food preservation, so canning, freezing, all that good stuff. So far out of the stuff I got, well, a while ago I actually did strawberry jam because they were running a sale on strawberries, and then when I went back this time I got black raspberries to do black raspberry jam. That turned out great, and hopefully you saw that video before this one. If not, check it out. I'll link it either in the cards or yeah, hopefully I remember to do that. But anyways, so today I am going to be making spaghetti sauce, and another one of the sales that they were having was tomatoes at 99 cents a pound. So I have about 15 pounds of tomatoes. Hold on one second, I'll show you. They were like on the whatever vine tomatoes, and they smell so good. They smell like summertime. And so I'm going to be making spaghetti sauce. So not only did I get my tomatoes for 99 cents a pound, I also, one second, I also need peppers for this recipe, and they had bags of peppers for 99 cents a piece. So I got 2 of these bags, 6 peppers total, and then I got my onions for my spaghetti sauce as well, and I think this bag was like $2, so it wasn't like on sale or anything, but it wasn't really that much money. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to do spaghetti sauce, and my kitchen is a wreck because I'm gonna work on that as I'm doing the spaghetti sauce. So you're gonna have to excuse it, but I'm trying to make the most of my time. Kai's down for a nap. Zendaya will be going for a nap in a little bit, but I'm trying to make the most of my afternoon, and so I thought I would just film while I'm doing this, even though my kitchen does not look the best for a vlog, but whatever, that's fine. So first step, I'm going to take a very large kettle. I am going to stick my tomatoes, take them off the vine obviously, stick my tomatoes and my onions and peppers in a kettle and let them soften. So that's the first step. The second step, let me just grab my recipe. This is from my mother-in-law, so it's not mine. I've never done this before, all those disclaimers. So after that stuff gets soft, I am going to probably put it through like a strainer and strain out all like the juice, and then put everything in a blender and kind of just like blend it all up, and then put it through a strainer again, or like a cheesecloth, because I don't have a Victoria strainer to put it through, which that's the optimal thing. So I'm just gonna kind of use a combination of like a strainer and a blender to get out all the juice I can out of my tomatoes, peppers, onions. Also, I forgot to say that the recipe also calls for 3 stalks of celery, but I don't have that, so I'm substituting that with celery seed, which will be great. So yeah, I'm gonna use a mixture of a blender and a strainer, which is probably more practical. Not everybody has like a Victoria strainer, so this will probably be more practical for like your average house if you don't do a lot of canning. Hopefully you have the things that I will be using. So anyways, after that is all done, we're gonna put the juice in a large kettle, heat to a boil, and then add in sugar, a bunch of seasonings, and I'm gonna use clear gel to thicken it. I'm going right off this recipe because, like I said, I've never done this before, so I am trying to, yeah, I'm not gonna take any like bunny trails or try to do my own thing right now. I just want to have this turn out good. So, and then after all of that is combined and boiling and we have a good spaghetti sauce, then I'm gonna put it in jars and I'm gonna can it, and I'm most likely gonna can it in my oven. You can can it in like a canner or whatever, but I don't really want it to be sitting on my stove to heat up and can and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you how I can it in my oven, and it's going to be real simple. So all that being said, let's jump right in. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and we'll see if we can make some spaghetti sauce. So first things first, I started by taking all the tomatoes off the vine, washing them, taking the stickers off, and then I just cut them in half and threw them in the pot. I don't know if I would have had to cut them in half, but I just did anyways. So I had quite a large amount of tomatoes to do, so this took me a decent amount of time, especially pulling them all off, taking stickers off them, and all that kind of thing. After the tomatoes came the peppers, and I didn't cut these down too small, but I cut them in half, took the seeds out of the center, washed them out, washed the outsides, and then I think I ended up cutting them into like fourths total and threw them in the pot as well. Last, I had the onions to do, so I cut those in half and then just took the peel off and chucked them in with everything else. And as you can see, I had to break out another kettle yet because of the amount of things that I had. But it was really simple to cook everything off, even though it was a good amount and definitely more than I thought it was going to be, as far as it took up more kettles and was just more once everything was cut up and all put together. Okay, so here's what we got. I ended up having to go to 2 kettles. I should have thought of this in the beginning. And it's getting pretty, whatever, like boiling-ish, I guess. But I'm gonna stir it and see what we got. I did put a tiny bit of water just so the stuff did not burn on the bottom. But it's looking pretty nice and it smells lovely. Okay, so I pulled these off the burner. Everything seems fairly soft and they're still really warm. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to strain them into a strainer, get all the juice off, and then put the rest of the stuff in the blender to blend it up as much as possible. Whew, sorry about that. And strain it again to get out as much juice as I possibly can. Once everything was cooked and kind of mushy, I poured as much juice as I could through my strainer into this pitcher, and then I took a spoon and ladled out like the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, kind of the chunky things, into my blender to kind of break them down a little smaller. Once I had those things blended, I just poured this through the strainer as well, and then just used a spoon to try to push out every drop of juice that I could get out of everything I had cooked. Hey guys, so it's a little crazy here in the kitchen. Kai is up from his nap and he is playing, hopefully not crying. Anyways, and I am getting ready to do like the juice. So I'm almost done straining everything through. I think I'm gonna be a little short, so this recipe calls for 2 gallons. And I'm probably gonna be at about 1.5 gallons or so. So I think I'm just gonna add some water to make up for it. When I was talking to my mother-in-law, she said she does that sometimes. So we're just gonna give that a go, and I'm gonna start adding, one second. So anyways, we're gonna give that a go. I'm gonna start adding seasonings into this kettle. I like washed it out, and now it has the gallon of juice that's strained, and then I'm working on the remainder over here. So I'm gonna start adding seasonings to this in just a little bit. I'll get the rest of the juice in here, and then we will do everything we need to before we have to stick it in jars for canning. Okay, so here we have all my juice, and a little bit of a correction. I have to get this to boil before I add anything in it. So right now it is just sitting, and we're gonna let it sit till it boils, and then I will add in the sugar and the seasonings and all that good stuff. So when I make spaghetti sauce again, I'm definitely going to reduce the amount of sugar that goes into it, not because I care about the amount, but just because I am like a very salty person, so I like my sauce to be more salty than sweet. So if you like more sweet sauce, definitely put the amount of sugar in that the recipe calls for. But if you don't like it quite as sweet and you like yours more salty, then definitely reduce it some. So I'm going to do that next time, but that's just a note that I did have. So I added in my sugar, stirred that in well, and then I added in all the spices that the recipe called for. After I had added in all my spices, my seasonings, all those good things, I finished up by adding in my olive oil. Next, I added in my clear gel, and this is a cook type clear gel, not an instant. So you combine it with cold water, stir it around till it dissolves, and then pour it into your boiling spaghetti sauce. I'll have all the directions in the description box in case you've never worked with it before, and it's super simple, and as long as you follow the directions, you should be fine. You may need more or less depending on how much thickness or the thickness that you like for your spaghetti sauce. I ended up using a little more than the recipe called for, but again, that's to preference. So after that was all added in, I ladled my spaghetti sauce into my jars, and I had heated my jars up first with hot water just to kind of bring them up to a warmer temperature when adding in the hot spaghetti sauce. Once my jars were all full, I wiped down the rims and just made sure everything was clean, good to go, and then I also stuck my flats in some warm water before putting them on the top of the jars and then screwing the rings on. So as I said before, I am oven canning these just because I didn't want them sitting in a kettle on top of my stove top and that heating up my kitchen so much with all the steam. So I just put them on the middle shelf of the oven, not touching each other, and the oven was heated to 275 degrees. And then I just set the timer for an hour and a half at that temperature, let the jars in for an hour and a half, and then once the timer rang, I turned the oven off and left them in for an additional hour or until they were cool. I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out the recipe in the description box to make some homemade spaghetti sauce for yourself. If you're new here, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join my channel here. Thanks guys again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time in my next video.